teams going back to their respective locker rooms to get ready for this event. And Beersy, when you look at the emotions and the excitement behind this event, what do you think the coaches are telling their teams out there?
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Have a good time. Look around. Take it all in. Realize where you are right now and how big of an impact this is for college hockey. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So, guys, enjoy it. At the same time, 2 points. Boston University, we need to get ourselves going. Jack Parker's telling his team, get going here, guys. We've been underachieving the first half of the season. Let's start to build momentum here into the second half. And Jerry York's telling his team, look, we've lost our last couple of games. Prior to that, they were playing some pretty good hockey, but it's time to get back on the winning track right now, and no better time to do it than right here. These two teams have met once already this season. It was back on December 5th. Boston College won that game by the score of 4-1. BU coming off a big win here recently, trying to get going.
Yeah, I mean, but how much does that game actually play into this one? The conditions are so different than they were back in December.
Well, the conditions will be a big question mark. We saw it in the first game here with the women that it was snowing. You saw a couple of pucks kind of bouncing off sticks, breakaway that went awry because of the snow on the ice. It bears watching here during this game. It's windy outside. It was snowing a little bit earlier. They're hoping for the snow to stop at game time, but hey, the conditions it's completely different. I think everything gets thrown out the window prior to this one. Anything can happen here between these two teams. They've been looking forward to it for so long. It's about time. Let's go.
Finally here. All right, the two of us will be with you all night long. We will see you during the first intermission. Brian Boyle and Matt Gilroy will join us. They're in town as the Rangers are facing the Bruins tomorrow afternoon. But coming up next, it's face-off between the Eagles and the Terriers. Enjoy.
Rivalries, one of the best rivalries in all of college sports. BC and BU going at it.
At a historic venue like Fenway, it couldn't be better.
They work it back to Price. He shoots, he scores! Plays it in front, score! Benito!
To have this opportunity as a college player is pretty special.
Almeida can't get around Greiba. Tuxdale's Boston College, the Division I national champions. Corey Trevino, the shot comes through, Muse with the save.
Being able to be a part of, kind of a college winter classic is really special.
Zach Cohen walks up, score! And Boston University is your Division I champion. Big shot, there it is, score! Ben Smith, big save, will end the rebound. Wow! Well, they have been playing for some 90 years, and now Boston College and Boston University go at it at Fenway Park. The 2010 Frozen Fenway doubleheader, presented by Sun Life Financial. Visit gettoknowsunlife.com. We are ready for the second half of that doubleheader. What might be the best rivalry in college sports? BU, BC next. Cue the snow. We get back to work with the second game of our Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader. First pitch just moments away as BU and BC get ready to go here on the ice at Fenway Park. Pre-game ceremonies about to get started on that ice. Let's join the public address announcer.
Steve Hines and David Emma to form the vaunted hemline at Boston College before a 12-year NHL career in which he helped lead playoff teams in Boston and New York. The other registered 83 points in an outstanding final season at Boston College before starting an NHL career in which he scored nearly 200 goals and over 750 points, earning a reputation as one of the NHL's most skillful playmakers. Joining us tonight as honorary assistant captains for Boston College, please welcome Marty McGinnis and Craig Janney. We next greet our Boston University honorary assistant captains. One was a Hockey East All-Star at Boston University, who went on to make 5 NHL All-Star appearances and score over 400 professional goals. The other has inspired countless fans with his personal story of courageous resolve after suffering a cracked fourth vertebrae just 11 seconds into his first college hockey shift at Boston University. Serving as honorary assistant captains tonight for Boston University, please welcome Tony Amante and Travis Roy. Up next, we welcome a pair of New England hockey legends who are serving as tonight's honorary co-captains. One is a Winthrop native and Olympic champion who scored 92 goals during his remarkable career at Boston University. The other is a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame who began his brilliant career as an All-American defenseman at Boston College. Our Boston University honorary captain led the 1980 United States Olympic hockey team to one of the greatest upsets in sports history. Our Boston College honorary captain spent 18 seasons in the NHL, making 9 All-Star appearances and twice winning the prestigious Norris Trophy as the game's top defenseman. Here tonight as the honorary captains for Boston University and Boston College, respectively, please welcome Olympic hero Mike Eruzione and legendary Hall of Fame defenseman Brian Leach. It's now time to welcome the past 2 NCAA men's hockey national champions. Up first, we welcome the home team this evening, the Boston College Eagles. Next, we welcome the Eagles' opponents this evening, the visiting Boston University Terriers. Now it's time to meet the student athletes who will be playing in tonight's game. First, for the visiting Boston University Terriers, the defensemen, Colby Cohen, Sean Escobedo, Eric Greiba, Max Nicastro, Ben Rosen, Ryan Ryka. The forwards, Alex Chiasson, Zach Cohen, Justin Courtnall, Russ Gaudette, Kevin Gilroy, Andrew Klass, Wade Megan, Joe Pereira, Luke Popko, Victor Sabanari, Corey Triving. The goaltenders Adam Cross, Grant Rollheiser. And now the starting lineup for the Terriers. Defense, number 3, Kevin Shattenkirk. And number 5, David Warsofsky. The forwards, number 13, Nick Bonino. Number 12, Chris Connolly. Number 27, Vinny Saponari. And in goal, number 31, Kiernan Allen. Boston University is coached by Jack Parker, assisted by Mike Bavis, Buddy Powers, and Mike Garagoshin. And now for the home team, the Boston College Eagles. Defensemen, Patch Alber, Tommy Cross, Brian DeMullen, Malcolm Lyles, Edwin Shea, Patrick Wee. The forwards, Barry Almeida, Cam Atkinson, Tommy Atkinson, Brooks Dryruff, Jimmy Hayes, Chris Kreider, Matt Lombardi, Pat Mullane, Matt Price, Joe Whitney, Stephen Whitney. The goalies, Parker Milner, Chris Venti. Now the starting lineup for the Eagles: on defense, number 5, Philip Samuelson. And number 7, Carl Sneap. Forwards, number 22, Paul Carey. Number 17, Brian Gibbons. And number 12, Ben Smith. In goal, number 1, John Muse. Boston College is coached by Jerry York, assisted by Mike Cavanaugh, Greg Brown, and Jim Loge. The officials for tonight's game is assigned by Hockey East. Our referees, number 15, Tim Benedetto, and number 5, John Gravelisi. Linesman are number 36, Chris Ogg, and number 42, Bob Bernard. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats. Tonight's game is the first home game for Boston College since the passing of one of its most notable hockey alumni, Ned Bunyan. A hockey player in the Boston College class of 1958, Ned served Hockey East in a number of roles, most notably as a referee and as an observer of referees. He was also the proud father of current Hockey East referee Jeff Bunyan. Starting tonight, Hockey East officials will wear the decal pictured on the video board for the remainder of this season. Please join us in a moment of silence as we remember Ned Bunyan. Thank you. Tonight's colors are presented by a joint Army ROTC color guard comprised of units from Northeastern, UNH, and Boston University. And performing tonight's rendition of the national anthem is a multi-talented Boston College student athlete who reached the semifinal round on the 5th season of American Idol. Please welcome Ayla Brown.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Ayla, for that beautiful rendition. Time now for our ceremonial face-off. Tonight we are joined by Hockey East Commissioner Joe Patagna, Fenway Sports Group President Sam Kennedy, and Terry Mullen, President of Sun Life Financial Distributors, sponsor of this historic event. Together, they are here on behalf of the many Massachusetts high school hockey alumni who continue playing into their adult years as we celebrate Massachusetts' rich tradition of amateur hockey and enjoy a game that keeps us all young at heart. We join Sam, Joe, and Terry in welcoming three individuals who not only starred as Massachusetts high school hockey players, but also proudly wore the Red Sox uniform. Our first guest led Norwood High School to the championship game of the 1965 Massachusetts State Ice Hockey Tournament, prior to a major league career in which he hit more than 200 home runs. Please join us in welcoming Richie Hebner. Our next guest played hockey at Peabody High School before a 12-year major league career that included a 21-win season in St. Louis. Please welcome a great who could still be found skating in adult leagues on the North Shore, John Tudor. Our third honoree was a four-time American League All-Star who began his athletic career as a Medford High School hockey player in the old GBI League. Won't you please welcome Bill Momboquette. Together, our guests will drop the puck to team captains Matt Price of Boston College and Kevin Shatterkirk of Boston University. Thank you all for joining us on this memorable evening.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to
All right, the pregame ceremony's now wrapping up. Nice touchdown there, Richie Hebner and John Tudor and Bill Momboquette. All paid for the Red Sox. Played high school hockey here in Massachusetts, but we're ready for college hockey at the Fens. Let's go back down ice level to Nelka Funayama with a couple of very special guests.
Yes, here with the head coaches of this game tonight, Jerry York and Jack Parker, and first two die-hard Red Sox fans. So this has got to be a special moment for you. How are you embracing it, Jerry?
Oh, it's terrific. I was talking about Richie Hebner. What a fabulous high school hockey player he would have been a great Eagle.
Well, the two of you came up with this idea back in 2003 to have outdoor hockey here at Fenway Park. Jack, now that this moment is here, how do you feel?
I just leaned into Jerry and said, we're lucky guys to be a part of this. We've been part of Boston fabric all our lives, and this is one of the nights we'll always remember.
Well, we wish both of your teams good luck here tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tom, back to you.
Nalco, thanks very much. The stories are legendary between the two. They first lined up against one another as high school players some 4 decades ago, more than that. Been coaching against one another ever since. The coaches of the last 2 national championship teams now go head-to-head. They're playing for the 248th time and for the first time ever on the ice at Fenway Park. What a night here at the Fens. Our starting goaltenders brought to you by Chevy. Last year, one of the best freshman seasons of any goalie in college hockey history, Kieran Milan, coming off a 20-save effort on Saturday in a win against the University of Massachusetts. You see his numbers, a disappointing season for Kieran Milan after that incredible year last year as a rookie. On the other side, John Muse, 4 wins, 3 losses, 2 ties in his career against Boston University, the junior now out of East Falmouth, Mass, and Noble and Greeno with a 6-4-2 record. For the first time, starting to rotate a little time with Parker Milner, but he makes his 2nd straight start. The snow continues to lightly fall, the perfect touch for the doubleheader here tonight. 24 degrees. Probably a wind chill to throw in there as well, but we won't complain. A great night for hockey as we are 1 game in the books and another ready to go. BU and BC here at Fenway Park.
Yeah, and the weather has to be a concern because as the ice continues to accumulate some of this snow that's sticking, you want it to freeze and you want it to go away to keep that ice nice and as quick as possible because that's the style of hockey both teams want to play.
BC has always been a skating team. Jerry York always recruits players who can fly. We'll see if this ice slows that strategy down a little bit. Boston University in those special jerseys with the Red Sox lettering going up against Boston College. BC, the home team, also in special uniforms to mark the occasion here of the Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader. BU skating left to right in the Road Reds. BC at home with the gold and maroon trimmed jerseys, skating right to left. Muse gloves it down, and now they get started up the ice. That's Paul Carey, the sophomore out of Weymouth. Got it going over to the far side. Knocked down again. This time it's Philip Samuelson, who had his pass broken up. Back the other way comes Boston University. Alex Chiasson, the freshman out of St. Augustine, Quebec. Fired that one right through the crease. And now as Muse holds that post on the near side, he watches it go back behind the net. Turn firing. Muse makes the save there. Rebound over to the corner. They try to get it back up to the point, kept in by Eric Greiba on net. So Boston University here in the early going, sustaining a little bit of pressure.
Well, it started with body contact, Tom, in the neutral zone. Wade Megan made body contact, freed that puck up, and it led a chance for Chiasson to get a shot. Even though it was a bad angle, any shot early in a hockey game is a good shot.
I just saw Chris Kreider out there back from that gold medal performance with the U.S. team in the World Junior Championships. The defenseman, David Warsofsky for BU, a teammate on that team. Warsofsky, an assistant captain. Kreider, the leading goal scorer for Team USA with 6 goals.
Had a beautiful snapshot to the top shelf early in that gold medal game that got things rolling for the U.S. squad.
First goal of the game for Team USA, just the second USA team to win gold at the World Juniors. Offside call, it'll bring back out to neutral ice.
Time now to take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network. First for the Boston University Terriers. They want to play physical, but they got to be disciplined. They got to stay out of the box. They can't allow BC to dictate the pace of this game. Their top 3 defensemen have to be difference makers in this one, TC. And as far as BC is concerned, they want to utilize their team speed and allow them to initiate their forecheck, good backside pressure, that counterattack game, and they have defensemen this year that they want to activate. Their skill set is such that they can really create 4- and 5-man attacks with pinches in the offensive zone as well.
BC went rolling into the holiday break, but a bump in the road since that break last weekend out in Denver, playing in the Denver Cup, a couple of losses there. Now Jerry York's team tries to bounce back against its most familiar foe. 16th season as head coach at Boston College, Jerry York, with 831 career victories, including his years out at Clarkson in New York in Bowling Green in CCHA play. Puck over there on the far side. Bouncing now off the boards. The hit coming as the scrum forms in the corner. Boston University trying to play back behind the net. Almost a dangerous play there is pretty well read by Ben Smith. The forecheck was able to keep it in. Now BU able to get it out, and back there to take it is Tommy Cross, the sophomore out of Simsbury, Connecticut in Westminster School. Second round draft pick of the Boston Bruins. There's a shot, a glove save, Milan. The rebound bouncing out in front. Maybe your other partner would call that a juicy rebound, but nothing comes of it as it comes out to center ice. 3-on-2 opportunity here for Boston University. Save made, Muse. Rebound over to the far side. Connolly is there. Chris Connolly out of Duluth, Minnesota, the Omaha Lancers. A 30-point season last year as a freshman, part of that unforgettable national championship season for Boston University.
A nice triangle attack offensively. 3-on-2, you want to stagger. And Shattenkirk was the defenseman that jumped into the play.
End of a long shift. It'll be dumped in there by Carey. Milan lets it go behind the net, and Boston University brings it out. Just over 3.5 gone. A light snow continues to fall here at Fenway Park in the nightcap of our doubleheader in the earlier game, the women's game. UNH with 4 third-period goals and a come-from-behind win over the Northeastern Huskies. Sent in deep on the right side, but an offside call will bring it back. The crowd is filled in here, some 38,000 on hand to watch this game, and what a great 2.5 weeks of hockey it has been here at Fenway Park, Brett.
Yeah, and this is just spectacular tonight. The celebration of college hockey, this great rivalry, two coaches that are real good friends, but arch rivals. The two programs rich in tradition, rich in history, and the game. This is what I like to emphasize the most. This game has so much meaning to the players and to the schools, to the programs, and to the hockey standing.
They are intense battles, a great rivalry, but always kept in perspective by the two coaches. They have never let, for all the recruiting wars they have been through, and a big shot there, save Muse. These are two schools that are often recruiting the same kids, but it has always been kept very gentlemanly, very above board, and everything kept in perspective by these two coaches. Good attack here as Boston University had a couple of bids there. Muse has been up to the task so far.
Yeah, it was Zach Cohen, short side, tried to sneak one top shelf glove right up under the crossbar as he circled behind the BC net.
Zach Cohen's been hot, 2 goals and an assist Saturday in the win against the UMass Minutemen. That was a big win for Boston University that had gone 4 straight without a win before the holiday break. And Jack Parker, very uncharacteristically, kept everyone away from the rink, gave them a long break, said clear your heads, come back ready to play.
And they did. They really respond. And anytime a coach gives you that opportunity or challenges you.
Try to break in here with an opportunity. Muse with a big save there. We got a penalty coming up at the collision in front of the net. So we will come back. A cross-checking call and a power play for Boston University after this.
Power play opportunity for the Terriers. Joe Pereira found some open space in the offensive zone, attacked the net. Boston College defenseman Tommy Cross guilty of the cross check from behind, and BU has first opportunity with the man advantage.
That is truly a cross check. Tommy Cross gets the cross check in there. Glad I got that out of the way early. 14:51 left here in the first period. That was a good opportunity for Joe Pereira coming in. Just back, missed the last couple of games with an injury out of West Haven, Connecticut in the South Kent School. He was here when BU took the ice for their practice earlier in the week. He was one of the more excited Terriers to take the ice at Fenway, hooting and hollering the whole first lap around the ice. Then he had his video camera out towards the end of practice. BC gets back after it. Now they bring it out of the zone. Price tries to get it in deep, but ran into traffic. BU brings it back out quickly the other way. Shot there, sails wide. Muse has to hustle back over. It was Vinny Saponari looking for his 4th goal of the season. Boston University on the power play, 20%, 3 for 6 last Saturday against Massachusetts. Big part of that offensive attack.
And something to look for too, TC, is that when the snow starts to build up, you might have to take a second look down at the puck. 2 players try to make passes. One Cohen deep in the offensive zone, and then Price in the neutral zone, where the puck just kind of slid off their stick because of the snow. There's a little drag. You're going to have to really concentrate on that puck.
Sabanari was set out in front, but he couldn't get around Brian Gibbons, the junior out of Braintree, was there to tie him up. 55 seconds remaining on the BU power play. Out at neutral ice, Boston College. Cam Atkinson was the attacker trying to keep it in the zone. It comes in on Muse now. He plays it out himself. Always an active goalie. He likes to move that puck and does it as well as anybody in the conference. The 2010 Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader on NESN, brought to you by Verizon Wireless, your local Chevy dealers, Sylvania HD LCD TVs and Blu-ray disc players, Bud Light, and by Southwest Airlines. Still 33 seconds remaining on the power play, the first man advantage of the night. 7th minute of play here, redirected in front, it goes wide. Out behind the net, it is played along by Zach Cohen. 2 BU Terriers over in the far corner after it. They keep it alive. Big shot there, score! Power play goal, Warsofsky hammers it from the point and then does a little swing for the fences after the goal. 1-0 BU.
Second shot on this power play for Wasowski. The first one was a little snapshot intended to be redirected. It was by Cohen in front, but missed. This time, the lateral movement across the blue line in order to improve his angle and give players more opportunity to get to the front of the net. He tees up that slap shot. It beats Muse, but it hits the post and comes back off the post, directly off the BC goaltender and back across the goal line.
And a bit of a David Ortiz uppercut left-handed swing at the end of it all.
I loved it.
Welcome to Fenway Park, the sophomore out of Marshfield. What a week he's had. A gold medal on Tuesday night and the first goal here at Fenway on Friday. Happy New Year, David Warsofsky. 1-0 Boston University on the board first here.
Let's add one more sport to our analogies. I don't think Roger Goodell would have liked that celebration.
Might have been a penalty after the goal. We'll spend the rest of the period trying to work basketball into it. I'm not sure I can do that. Taking a look at the goal, though, just setting him up perfectly.
Well, this is something defensemen work on in practice all the time. Pulling that puck off the near boards, that backward skate, the good push, the whole time. Try to keep your head up, survey what's going on in the slot area, what players have an opportunity for a redirect or a second chance. And Warsofsky able to find some open space and get that puck through traffic.
3 of his 5 goals have come on the power play this season. I'm sure that will go into his memory banks as one of the more memorable goals he has scored. For a local kid to get a goal at Fenway Park, pretty special. Puck up to the point. Kept in by Shattenkirk. They're looking for more here, trying to get it over to the near side for Andrew Glass. Glass on the boards, a 4-man scrum forming over here in the right corner. 8 minutes gone here in period number 1. Boston University with a 1-0 lead. That shot never made it through. Gloved down there by Pat Mullane, but the puck kept in the offensive zone by BU. Good stick work here, but the pass just out of the reach of Shattenkirk, who jumped up to join the rush. The defenseman now gets back as it's kept in on the far side. BU led 1-0 in the meeting earlier this season against Boston College. BC scored the next 4. Took that one 4-1. Nice setup here. But the puck goes up off the netting as BC got back to break it up. 1-0 BU leading John Muse and the Eagles at Fenway.
That lead, they feel like they have a wounded animal, and the BC Eagles continue to put the attack on. It was David Warsofsky. They just scored the goal to give the BU team the lead. You want to get in his shooting lane if you can, but with his lateral movement, his ability to fake that shot, step around his check, and try to make a play to that far post. Looked like Kreider got a stick in there with good stick position to disrupt that opportunity for BU.
They were teammates earlier in the week. Now the 2 Massachusetts natives going head-to-head at Fenway Park. In the best rivalry in college hockey, BU and BC playing for the 248th time. Second meeting of this year. Of course, you throw a Beanpot possibility in there as well. They might hit the 250 before the playoffs. What a stretch for hockey in New England right now. You had the Winter Classic out here last week, this event today. Boston University keeping it in here on the offensive zone right now. We just saw a great run for Team USA in the World Juniors. Down low, Muse had to get a save. Rebound shot wide to the left side is Boston University right now, keeping tremendous pressure on Muse. The Eagles just trying to get it out of the zone. They can't. Fired into a crowd, now taken. And Almeida will take it over center and dump it in. But just to finish that off, you've got the AHL All-Star game coming to Portland in about a week and a half. You'll have the Olympic break where you'll have that after the Bean Pod, of course. Just a great run this year, it seems, for hockey, getting tremendous notoriety throughout New England.
Are you going to be involved again? Are you going to put on a clinic on that skills competition that I saw one year?
They couldn't see you making those air quotes when you said clinic. You don't want to see my clinic. Puck around behind the net. We'll bring my boys, 13 and 9. They put on a much better clinic than I ever could.
A little bang from behind right there. I believe BC's going to go on a power play.
And maybe just what they need to try to get it, because they have been hemmed in their zone here for the last 4 or 5 minutes of play.
Yeah, the ice has been tilted in favor of the BU Terriers, and they want to be physical. This was one of the keys for BU because BC is probably the better skating team on most nights. But this is a hit from behind. Wade Megan. Body contact. You got to pull up in that situation or make contact more from the side. I know you're committed to the hit, but somehow you got to avoid the boarding penalty. BC, they need to build off this, whether it's productive in terms of scoring a goal with a man advantage. It almost doesn't matter. They need to get some opportunities to start to build some confidence with the puck.
Midway through the first period, they've been outshot by BU 7-3. Shots on net not always indicative of the game, but that does pretty well tell the story of the time of possession and dominance in the offensive zone. Long skate up the ice. Brian Dumoulin, the freshman out of Biddeford, Maine, a +5 to lead these Eagles. Gets it started, and this is Gibbons going into the offensive zone. Drop back, Dumoulin fires it into a crowd. It was redirected wide over to the left side. Carried back out by Eric Greiba, and he will clear it length of the ice.
And that's what good teams do, TC. You know, they haven't really been in the hockey game yet, only the 3 shots. They get this power play. This is where you start to tilt it back a little bit. You try to level the playing surface, and all it takes is 1 shot to tie the hockey game.
Can't get it into the offensive zone, though, as they run into traffic at the blue line, and BU clears it out quickly, approaching the midway point of the power play for BC. Cam Atkinson has to sweep it away from danger out in front of his own net. Now the Eagles will carry out. Carried over center and sent in hard around. In after it is Pat Mullane, top scoring freshman on this team. In behind the net, a lot of traffic there. Keeping it in is Joe Whitney. Joe Whitney had a goal and an assist in the game against Boston University back on December 5th. That 4-1 win for BC. Big shot there, never got through, and could lead to an opportunity the other way. Into the long penalty killing shift. Kevin Shattenkirk will put on the brakes. Heads up move there. He'll kill off more time.
Yeah, it was Shattenkirk that actually blocked the shot. So a big block and then puck possession.
Kevin Shattenkirk, top scoring defenseman, top scoring player on this BU team. Not obviously a defenseman leading the team in scoring, but 17 points, 14 of them on assists.
And one of the top 3 defensemen that we talked about at the top of the broadcast as having to be difference makers in this hockey game for BU. Shattenkirk, Cohen, and the goal scorer, Warsofsky.
Well, BU not only kills off a BC power play, but they keep the Eagles from getting a shot on net. Terriers lead at 1-0. Down at the rink here at Fenway Park, and so there's your pitcher's mound and home plate down just below your field of vision on the screen. So essentially you've got Jack Parker where the starting shortstop would be, and you've got Jerry York about where second base would be. I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good double play combination in college hockey. 1,652 wins between them. Jerry York said he was a kid. For a while, he was more of a baseball player than a hockey player. Always dreamed of playing at Fenway. Well, he's got to settle for coaching. Pretty special couple of weeks here with the rink here at Fenway.
Better than Tremel and Whitaker, I'll guarantee you that.
Certainly longer lasting, and those 2 guys did hang in there for a while. Dumped back into Kieran Milan. Got to go behind the net to play it. And then he's got to face a shot as it came over to the near side. And Boston College now trying to get something going. It all started with that Barry Almeida shot. Sophomore out of Springfield. Western Mass went further west to the Omaha Lancers. Play junior hockey. Shot fired in wide to the right. In hard after it, but now Boston College with the puck and some numbers if they can hurry. Almeida got hit in open ice as he was able to play it into the goaltender. Milan plays it and holds on, but he got the big hit from Eric Greiba.
Forget about Michigan, Ohio State, or USC, UCLA. The best rivalry in college sports belongs to Boston College and Boston University. Visit NESN.com/TC to read how important this game is for the two schools and for college hockey.
I think it was Jack Parker who once said if you took Ohio State and moved it 2 miles away from the University of Michigan, then you'd get a feel for what BCBU really is. As we said, they're in the same living rooms and dens recruiting the best players in New England, and now coast to coast with the explosion nationally of hockey. So many good hockey players now playing Division I college hockey from Texas and Florida and California. Big hits behind the net, comes away with an opportunity into a crowd. The shot sails wide. Milan down there right now without a stick, so BU happy to get that whistle as they were able to avoid any danger there.
We do have a penalty, though, in the action that was going on in the defensive end for BU, and it's BU that's going to be shorthanded. Escobedo is going to go to the penalty box, I believe, for a cross-check. Things are starting to pick up physically. There was a good hit in the neutral zone. Eric Greiba right in the middle of everything. Jimmy Hayes had a big hit. Right side of your screen out in front of the BU goal. That's where the cross-checking occurred and the stick work. So BC will have another opportunity with the man advantage.
Second power play of the game for Boston College. They get it over to the near side for Dumoulin. Now playing it down low. They've got Ben Smith out in front of the net. Dumoulin looks for him. Quick passing back up top, but unable to keep it in was Carl Sneap. Top scoring defenseman playing in his 131st career game for the Eagles tonight. Paul Carey with some speed, goes wide down the right side. Brian Gibbons there as well, gets it back up top for Dumoulin. Over to Sneap. That pass broken up. Bouncing back up to Sneap, who hustles over and keeps it in. Dumoulin looks, wrist shot, sails wide. Came through a crowd, may have been redirected as it came through. BU able to clear.
Gibbons might have got a piece of that. He was in the high slot for BC. Sneap, along with his partner Dumoulin, exchanging passes, trying to work that blue line, create a passing and shooting lane.
About midway through the power play here, a steal and open ice, and an opportunity for Boston University shorthanded.
Yeah, that was Bonino on a nice back check, shorthanded, able to steal the puck, and that quick transition leads to a shorthanded chance, and Hughes got with a piece of the glove.
Bonino's been hot, the top scorer of late, 11 points in the last 10 games for Boston University. Here's Connolly now with Bonino camped out in front. Bonino got tangled with Muse as that puck came around behind the net.
Yeah, he might have been mic'd up before the game. Sounded like he had good hands, he was saying.
Said, I feel it tonight. I think everybody felt good hands on the warm-up tonight. We'll check that out between periods later on. We had mics on a couple of the players during the warm-ups. Nick Bonino for Boston University and Joe Whitney for BC. Sharing the excitement of taking the ice here before 38,000 fans at the Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader. That's where we are at Fenway Park. In front, the shot broken up. Cam Atkinson came away Johnny on the spot. Power play comes to an end. Boston University now with the puck. And the numbers as they rush in, but Pereira has to turn away. Now he gets it back. Nice passing there, and Pereira keeps it in. Pereira trying to dangle over to the near side. Flips it down to the right. Pass in front, goes over to the far boards, and BC now breaks it back out the other way. Here's Almeida into the offensive zone. Drops it back, offside the call, a little slow. I'm not sure if they're having trouble here in the whistle, but half of them kept skating. Here's a look at the opportunity.
Best chance tonight for BC. Mullane made the nice play from behind the goal. Difficult play for Milan to be able to handle that. Looking over his left shoulder, needs to keep his head quickly turned if he has to come back to the right side, which he did. Atkinson took the perfect pass from behind the net, try to improve his angle a little bit, get Milan to move with him, maybe open up through the legs. A number of different options, but the best chance for BC.
That's glove down, but offside the call there. By the way, this not the first outdoor meeting between these two teams. This is the second time BC and BU have played hockey outdoors. BC with a 9-0 win at BC's old university rink back in 1920. So 80 years between the outdoor games BC also in the game notes wanted everybody to know they're 5-0 against BU outdoors in football at Fenway Park. Not against BU, but at Fenway Park they are 5-0 playing football games out here.
Those bragging rights run deep, don't they?
You know, for a long time, and if you look at the numbers, BU leads this all-time series 123 to 107, 17 ties. But for a long time, each team disputed one of the games. BC thought they had one more win than BU thought they had, and they finally had a summit and went back over the stats and ironed that out. They do not give an inch when it comes to BC-BU. Battle here in the corner, just under 3.5 remaining. In period number 1, Boston University with a 1-0 lead. David Warsofsky scoring his 4th of the season. Zach Cohen assisting on a power play goal. That came at 6:58, the only goal of the game so far. BC trying to get it out of the zone. Muse has to cover it up, and he hears the whistle. Sun Life, the presenting sponsor of our Frozen Fenway doubleheader, and it continues with Game 2 here at the Fens. In gold here at Fenway Park a week ago for the Winter Classic. They are back at work at their other home rink tomorrow afternoon, a matinee as they rematch against the New York Rangers, beaten down at MSG on Monday. They go at it tomorrow afternoon. Catherine Tappan, after a few hours of sleep, and Gord Kluzak anchor our coverage pregame. Starts with WB Mason Bruins face-off live at 12:30 of the Saturday night top 5. Just an early edition of it. Of course, Catherine Tappan going to be working before that. We'll see her in 3 minutes and 6 seconds of playing time up on the right field roof, high above the pesky pole here at Fenway Park. Home to the first women's college hockey outdoor game earlier, and now the latest chapter in this tremendous college hockey rivalry between Boston College and Boston University. Ben Smith giving it over to Gibbons. Gibbons had his shot deflected high up into the netting.
Just foul down the left field line, that puck.
So here was the discussion.
Not a lot of room down there.
So here was the discussion, Brick. I was here when BU was out there for their skate earlier in the week, and there was a prolonged discussion whether or not you could clear the Green Monster with a slap shot from the ice. And the end decision was no because of the glass. You'd have to get it too high too quickly, but the players did believe without the glass, you might be able to clear. Cooler heads prevailed when they started to gather pucks to see if they could.
I'm thinking a 9-iron or a wedge, mate, but
it's a long way up there.
Yeah, what is that, 38 feet?
Yeah. 37, right?
Well, 38 to get it over.
Right, that's a good point. Fair enough. They do have that little lip there now, the J.D. Drew lip there, and he hit that home run that nobody saw. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining now in this first period of play. It has evened out now after BU spent about the first 10 minutes in the offensive zone, it seemed. BC has had more opportunities, though the shot's still favoring the Terriers 9-5.
Well, that's got to be an interference call against BC right in the neutral zone.
Not one you want to take there, as the puck was all the way back in the other end. An interference call in the final 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, it's going to be Mullane that's going to go to the penalty box. He just, wrong place, wrong time, and he doesn't avoid the body contact when the puck was not played by Andrew Glass. So, after a couple of power play opportunities for the Eagles, BU already doing some damage with the man advantage earlier in this period. They'll either extend their lead or, in all probability, finish on the power play, period number 1.
And again, their one goal did come on the man advantage. That was Warsofsky. Warsofsky getting the goal, his 5th of the season, 3rd on the power play. Out behind the net, it is Max Nicastro who got it started. Pass up on the right side. Alex Chiasson sending it in. Corey Trevino in after it. They tried to get it down low to Zach Cohen, but it was well read. Cleared length of the ice. Minute 20 remaining in the period, about 6 extra seconds on the power play.
And in a normal game, this late in the period, there's going to be a snow buildup, so you got to be a little firmer on everything that you do at this point in the hockey game. But now you're outdoors, the snow is falling, it's a different situation. Even more importantly, that you lean on that stick.
Steal here, down deep in the offensive zone. Boston College trying to get something going shorthanded. Here's Gibbons, tried to get the pass through, but it was broken up. Cam Atkinson gets after it, now taken away and brought up by Vinny Saponari. Final minute of play. Pass into the offensive zone. Shattenkirk over to his left side. Halfway up the boards, Gibbons gets after it and clears it away. Center ice now taken over and dumped in by Atkinson. Puck on the far boards, 25 seconds still to go here in the period. Offside the call there, so it comes back out to neutral ice.
Well, BC trying to get something done short-handed. This is just a two-man attack against 4 red and white jerseys in the defensive end for BU. They do enough defensively to thwart the short-handed chance, but ideally on a power play, you're up the other end of the ice, and BC doing a nice job killing this penalty.
Final seconds winding down, 15 here to go. Whistle there as it'll come in the right wing side. At the end of it all, how do these two teams feel going into the locker room, Brett?
Well, if you got the lead like BU, you feel real good. I think both teams were a little bit nervous to start the hockey game. I think BU wanted to really get that physical play going to establish their dominance physically. BC looked a little unsteady, getting untracked, with their speed game. I think the 2 power plays helped them a little bit, even though they didn't have great chances. And now they've had a good penalty kill to finish the period, so their confidence level should be on the rise.
Able to break up that pass and get it out to neutral ice. That should just about do it, and it does as the final seconds wind down. So BU outshoots Boston College 9-5. Nothing getting by Kieran Milan, and just 1 goal. It came from David Warsofsky. From Marshfield, he won the gold medal with Team USA earlier in the week. He's got his BU Terriers up 1-0. Let's go to Catherine Tappan on the right field roof.
All right, TC, thank you. Plenty of action here for us to discuss. A 1-0 lead.
And see what the ice was like, because it needed a lot of work, it needed a lot of reps, it needed a lot of people skating on it to get it to the condition that it's been in, optimum condition for the game on the first as well as this game here.
Final seconds of that power play wind down. We're back to even strength now. Boston University 1 for 2 on the power play. Here's an opportunity for BC as the puck just kept rolling into the offensive zone with Chris Kreider. Finally BU able to take it back out. Bonino takes the hit. Gets the puck in deep. Brown behind the net. Samuelson trying to get after it. It comes back the other way. Cam Atkinson will play it back. First minute of play here in period number 2. A fresh sheet of ice, or at least as fresh as it's going to get tonight. Two teams swapping sides. Muse comes out aggressively and able to stop that. BC breaks back out the other way. End of a long shift beyond a minute, so they let the puck go into the offensive zone. Now BU bring it back the other way to get the backhand. 2 saves there for John Muse, and he holds on. And BU picking up where it left off in the first half of period number 1.
Well, second period long change, and BU in a counterattack really took advantage of it on the second opportunity. The first one was Megan driving off that far post. Unfortunately, he's a left-handed shot, difficult to one-time that puck. The second chance, again, that transition game, attacking the BC goal. They get 2 opportunities. And started with Chiasson on the rush where he stepped over the blue line and really attacked Muse in the BC goal.
Dumoulin for BC ran into traffic. They bring it back around the other way for Ben Smith. Smith into the offensive zone, trying to work wide. Puck off his stick. He's able to get it in deep. Now brought back out the other way by Boston University. A minute and a half gone here in the second. The only goal of the game, David Warsofsky. As Warsofsky got his 5th of the season. Came on the power play at 6:58. That's where we stand. BU right now out shooting BC 10-5. And a couple more this period, 12-5 now the total. At the blue line. Played up ahead by Sean Escobedo. Freshman out of Bayside, New York in the Sioux Falls Stampede. Pass goes off a stick all the way into the offensive zone. Races on down there. Edwin Shea has 1 career goal. It was the game winner against Boston University back in December. Back up to the near point, kept in. Muse again has to hustle off a score! Muse thought he had it, but Joe Pereira bangs it home, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Terriers.
Well, Kobe Cohen was able to step inside off that left point and drift a pretty good half slap. And then it was Pereira just rotating to the net. Muse wanted to argue that this net was off its mooring on the short side, blocker side, and that's why the puck snuck in. There's your drive, blocker stop. There's your shot by Pereira. It sneaks off the right pad and inside that near post. At first blush, there's a puck maybe across the goal line before the net is moved off the goal line. Difficult to tell because it gets kind of on that pad when the contact is made with the puck. And is it across the goal line or is it not before that post slides off?
We'll find out as they go to the review. Let's take another look. You be the judge.
Well, on the back end, just a little shovel shot by Pereira. It's going to make contact with the right pad and does it cross that goal line prior to the net moving? It looks like it does.
They get a better look from this angle here.
That is tough to tell. There is some initial movement of that post. You get the real big move late after the pad makes contact with it. I think the call on the ice was a goal.
Right, and is that conclusive?
Yeah,
that is the question.
I don't think it is, and I think this goal will count.
Again, this not just because we're at Fenway Park where they have reviews now for home runs. College hockey, Hockey East, all goals are reviewed now, regular season as well as the conference championships.
Yeah, the more I look at this, I think this puck is across the goal line and inside the net before that net moves. And I don't know, that's a tough one. That is real close.
If it stands, it will be Pereira's 4th goal of the season, again just back from the injury. Here's perhaps the best look at it. As it comes in, the pad there.
Yeah, it's in the net now. You can see the puck in the net. And from that angle, it doesn't appear the post has moved enough or off that goal line. I still say this is going to count.
The referees did ask for that review specifically. They wanted to see that over the head angle. And it is a goal. So you're on top of it all the way, Brick.
Well, you know, there was doubt as you looked at every look, every replay. The doubt was still there. That's why we wanted to make the point that the call on the ice was a goal. And I think that behind the net view that I believe the officials wanted most and wanted to see one more time, in their eyes, either A, concluded that it was a goal, or B, there was not conclusive enough evidence.
Now BC coming out trying to get something going, down 2-0. We'll have a penalty coming up here. As there was a big hit out behind the net, Andrew Glass will be sent off at 2:37. So a power play now for Boston College, their 3rd of the game.
Well, a counterattack by BC. They need to get something going offensively. They thought I had a chance as they stepped into the offensive zone. Glass on the back check. Just a heavy hit on Whitney. And he will go to the penalty box. And as we said in period number 1, the power play for BC, because they're being dominated physically right now as well as territorially. They had a couple of real good opportunities, one late, one early in this period, one late in the first period, but they got to get that power play and have it have some meaning.
And it's been a strength of this Eagles team all year long, 22%. And now another penalty right off the draw.
Yeah, Popko's going to go to the box for an interference call, so wow, what an opportunity for BC now. Down on this hockey game, 2-0, right off the face-off. A face-off win, by the way, by BU. The leg and stick work by Popko, who won the draw. Sends him to the penalty box, and then a lengthy, almost 2 full minutes of 5-on-3 play.
Just 4 seconds gone, and they set up the 5-on-3 over on the near side. It was Joe Whitney getting it started. It's Tommy Cross up top. As they play it down low, up for Cross now. Big one-timer. It sails wide, bouncing behind the net. First Eagle back there is Stephen Whitney. Up to the near side. Joe Whitney. His brother Stephen out there, as we said. Tommy Cross shoots. Land may have got a piece of it. Joe Whitney near side. Fires, save made, and the rebound cleared away by Boston University.
BC making it a little too easy right now on BU's 3 penalty killers. A couple of shots from out high that don't hit the net, and then a simple little wrist shot with no second chance.
Big shot from the left side, never got through. Stephen Whitney gets it back over to the far side. Pass gets through to Cross here. Quick passing through, maybe too much passing as it's taken there and cleared away by Boston University.
Well, BC's in that umbrella formation on the 5-on-3, and all BU is doing is inverting their triangle defensively in their own zone, and there's been nothing in and around the net for a low play.
BC bringing it in now on the far side. It is Gibbons rather. Behind Gibbons gets started. Carl Sneap slides it across. They work it to Sneap on the near side. Sneap looking. 27 seconds remaining in the first penalty. Shot never made it through. Cleared away by Boston University. I'm not sure they have a shot through on net yet on this 5-on-3.
I can't think of one. It's either been blocked. There's been 2. Well, I can think of one. The simple little shot by Whitney from the half wall when he attacked the hash marks. That's been it.
7 seconds to go, and we've seen it so often. You don't score on a 5-on-3, and it becomes such a momentum builder for the penalty killing team. First penalty comes to an end. Second one 4 seconds later. We're back to 5-on-5. Big time kill there for Boston University. And now they've got the puck. Here come the Terriers the other way. Pass a bit too far on the far side. The battle in behind the net. Tried to get it through to Saponari in front of the net. Out back right now, it's Paul Carey for the Eagles. Getting the pass over to Sneap and taking it back. Puck comes back through near side, taken there. Saponari got a piece of it to play it in deep. Muse sees it go around behind his net. Over to the far side, here comes Price. 2-on-2, the Eagles coming in. Lombardi in on the right side. His shot off the corner glass. Broken up. Opportunity for the Terriers the other way. Zach Cohen into the offensive zone, but the whistle blows, and we'll take a break. It is a 2-0 lead for Boston University here at Fenway Park. Jack Parker's team up by 2.
Kickoff weekend doesn't end after tonight. It's a special Saturday edition of Hockey's Friday Night Live as the 14th ranked Riverhawks of UMass Lowell visit the Northeastern Huskies at Matthews. Coverage begins on Hockey's Face Off Live at 7 with Bob Beers and Brendan Walsh.
Busy hockey weekend, little doubleheader tonight, little matinee at the Garden tomorrow, and then we're at Matthews tomorrow night. A renovated Matthews Arena. If you haven't been there yet, an outstanding job. Some $12 million, a complete facelift on the oldest college hockey, oldest hockey arena still operating in North America. 6 minutes gone here in period number 2. A 2-0 lead for Boston University. On goals by Warsofsky and Pereira. Milan with a save there. Kieran Milan. It's not been that busy tonight. 7 saves so far. Milan has been there when they need him. Puck kept in. Sent over to Warsofsky on the near side. Fires it in deep. And we get a whistle. 13:29 remaining here in the second period. Let's go down ice level. Brendan Walsh at least has gloves on now, though he won't put the hat on. No gloves. No, they're off. Brendan, what's up?
That's mental toughness, TC Brick. Well, I figured out who the rookie is here in the broadcasting, so I'm learning. Hey, I spoke with associate head coach of Boston University, Mike Bavis, and they kind of picked up something here from practicing last week. And looking at the lights, they want to use the lights here. A lot of high chips off the glass, a lot of cross corner dumps. And this way here, the BC defenders are a little struggling there, trying to track the puck. And offensively, try to simplify the game. Throw a lot of pucks on net on John Muse because of the elements, and just keep it real simple. TC, back to you.
All right, Walshy, we're not mentally tough up here. I got the hat on, I got the gloves on.
Well, Walshy's gloves were off more than they were on anyway when you play.
Why change now?
That's
you take
right.
a look at the lights here above Fenway. Let's talk a little about the conditions, Brick. We've been talking about the snow, but the lighting very different. The lights are so far away from the ice. Talking to some of the players this week, the depth perception very weird because the seats aren't right up to the glass. I know it's evenly matched for both teams, but how foreign is this for these players?
It's very foreign, and we talked about the word being focus, just on the job at hand, number one, but then they add the elements. Add to that the wind, too. Look at that flag out there in center field where it's blowing. If you're skating in the wind, boy, I mean, that adds, it's even tougher.
So good night to be a left-handed pull hitter, not such a good night to be a penalty killer if you're out there in the wind. Opportunity there for Boston University, but BC able to get back and break up the bid. 12:45, our time remaining. Here in period number 2, BU with a goal in each of the periods so far. Boston College trying to get on the board as they bring it up the ice. Big shot there, but it sails wide. There was Stephen Whitney, the freshman. All 9 of his points on the season, 2 goals, 7 assists coming in the last 10 games. Hit behind the net. BC trying to turn that into possession. Comes all the way back, though. Colby Cohen is there for the Terriers. Long pass ahead as they try to spring. Connolly on the other end, icing the call with 12:04 remaining. The Red Sox are once again offering red field box and loge box seats from Fenway Park. The same seats that have held fans who witnessed all the memorable moments at America's most beloved ballpark. The seats are sold in pairs for $795. Call 617-226-6800 or email seatsale@redsox.com to place your order today. Approaching the midway point of regulation here. Second period action, Fenway Park. UNH, the women, beating Northeastern in the first game tonight. Boston University with a 2-0 lead in the men's game, and an opportunity there as the rebound was bouncing in front. Boston College able to get it up and now out to neutral ice. BU right back in the other way. Here's Connolly, the pass back. Now behind the net, and we've got a whistle here. We'll take a timeout, come back and tell you about it. 11:29 remaining in a 2-0 lead for BU at Fenway. Fenway doubleheader, crowd cheering on BU against BC. And some of our Nesson crew staying warm tonight with coats manufactured in Massachusetts by Sterling Wear of Boston. You're looking very dapper in your pea coat tonight. Sterling Wear, thank you very much. Exclusive supplier of pea coats to the U.S. Navy as well as to Andy Brickley in that order. Check out their new retail location in Nashua, New Hampshire. For info, go to sterlingwear.com. These things are warm.
Oh, beautiful.
We've had the window open the whole night, and I'll tell you what, it's not too bad.
Really comfortable.
Puck just over to the right of Muse. Now the net is off the mooring, and now the whistle comes with 11:17 to go. I get to walk down for a few minutes between games here tonight. It's really a different atmosphere. It's really, it's half college hockey game, half just midwinter party. I mean, it just smiles throughout this ballpark here tonight.
Yeah, you got the bands here. You got the student bodies representing both schools. I'm sure there's some people that were UNH and Northeastern that were here for the women's game that have obviously stuck around. You mentioned the 38, 39, whatever it is, 40,000 people in attendance. Absolutely phenomenal. Everybody having a good time. They're not out on the ice having to brave the elements, and play in a competitive game. They're braving the elements on their own, but they are having a whole lot of fun. I'm not sure they're having as much fun as we are, but maybe they are.
Yeah. I think they're doing their best to catch up. It's a great atmosphere. We're glad you could join us tonight here on Ness, and want to welcome everyone watching on the NHL Network coast to coast as well. College hockey action outside. When Ohio State and Michigan played, what was that, 2003, I believe it was, when they played their outdoor game. Right away, Jack Parker, Jerry York started talking about, what if we did this in Boston? And they wanted to have it here at Fenway Park. But as I was talking with A.J. Malesko about there in the first game, so many renovations have been done to this ballpark in the previous 9 winters that you haven't been able to have a rink. Now, finally, everything aligned. The Winter Classic, the NHL bringing their ice sheet in, and it's just absolutely perfect what they've been able to do here.
Now, think about where you were, on which side of the argument you were on when new ownership came over and took care of the Red Sox in Fenway Park, Nesson obviously, and are they going to build a new stadium? Are they going to go down to the river? Down to the waterfront, excuse me. And, where did you stand on that? And you say, no, Fenway's too old. Oh, my goodness, have they done a fabulous job here. We've been coming here all our lives, and it just continues to get better. I couldn't think of, anywhere else that you'd want to watch a baseball game. And now you get a chance to, watch your real passion, which is hockey, in Fenway Park.
And Larry Lucchino right down here, ice level. President and CEO of the Red Sox and an architect of so much of this. You know, he was with the Orioles when they built Camden Yards. He was with the Padres when they built Petco Park. And there's no question that there is a lure to a new ballpark with all the amenities and everything you can build. But they have done something that, frankly, I didn't think was possible here at Fenway Park.
Exactly my point.
Rehabbed this entire place, and it feels new, and it looks as good as it ever has. And 2 world championships and 3 hockey games later, I don't think anybody's complaining. Meantime, maybe some Boston College Eagle fans complaining. They want a goal from the Eagles, get back into this one. Instead, Boston University coming in at a point-blank opportunity. It was a good effort there as they came streaking in on the left side of the pass from Ross Gaudette, the sophomore out of Burlington, Mass. Came across in time. Trevino was point-blank in front of the net.
Yeah, this starts back in the defensive zone for BU in that transition game. Even though this isn't a tape-to-tape pass on the initial play, the return is a well-executed 2-on-1 that appeared that it might not materialize when that puck got out in front. But Trevino and Gaudette combined, and unfortunately that shot caught the outside. You know, you get these outnumbered rushes. You have a 2-0 lead. And that's a great opportunity to cash in on. You get a 3 in a game like this, in a meaningful game, and you know, at this point in the hockey game, you're right about at the halfway point. I won't say that's insurmountable, but when you think about BC, the power play chances that they've had, that real almost 2 minutes, 5-on-3, where they get nothing. I mean, that's pretty deflating if you're the BC Eagles, if you're able to score on that 2-on-1 for BU.
Meantime, for Boston University, they have not really had to stop a lot of shots, but Kieran Milan, as I said before, has been there when they've needed him, and that has been one of the questions of this season. A little bit of a sophomore slump for Milan, who has been fighting the puck at times. If he regains his confidence, this Boston University team instantly becomes a team to reckon with, like that right there as he slid laterally across.
And add to that the weather and how cold it is. If he's not seeing any pucks, he's going to be extra cold.
On the other side, and we got a penalty coming up once again against Boston College. Nicastro, or Escobedo checking it to keep in on the near side. Bouncing puck, score! The delayed penalty. Boston University bangs it home, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Terriers.
No, I think it's Zach Cohn that actually buries this puck. I don't know if it was he or Benino that was right there when that puck was up for grabs. BU was able to get their goaltender out for the extra attacker. Maybe it was Megan. Difficult to see on the far side of the ice. There's Cohn right at the top of the crease. He had the redirect. Yeah, Megan able to follow that puck up. Looked like he picked it out of midair, TC, when the puck was up for grabs. Across the goal line. That angle shows a real good look. BU just attacking the BC net with the goaltender pulled. And they have extended their lead to 3-0. They're taking a quick look at it, I believe, but I'm not sure what they're going to look at. That puck was not batted with a high stick.
That might be what they're looking at, but from our reviews, it didn't seem to be an issue. It'll be the second collegiate goal for the freshman out of Canton, New York. 5th-round pick of the Florida Panthers last summer.
Yeah, clearly that angle even better. Good shot there. That stick well below the crossbar. They can review it all they want, but that's going to be a good goal.
Maybe there's a space heater in the review booth, too. Maybe that's just an opportunity to warm up. I don't think there's any question about it, is there?
Zero. None.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I hear you.
Okay. I just need, okay, I can't tell on that one. I just need that side angle again. I just want to see if we're going to hit a high stick or the net came off.
Listening in as the officials take a look at the review.
Oh. Okay. Good goal. One more time from that angle.
We're going to announce a good goal. Announce the call on the ice. Call on the ice stands. Good goal.
There you have it. They will announce that the call on the ice stands as we thought it would, and that it was a good goal. And there's the signal. So it'll be the second goal for the freshman Wade Megan. was the top scorer for the South Kent School, prepping out of Canton, New York. Now as a freshman at Boston University, he scores the goal that makes it 3-0 here, just beyond the midway point of regulation. So Boston University, a team that took that 4-game winless streak into the holiday break, came storming out with 7 goals against UMass last weekend, has jumped out to a 3-0 lead 11 minutes into the second period of play. Game 2 of the 2010 Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader on Nesson, brought to you by Verizon Wireless, by your local Chevy dealers, by Sylvania HD LCD TVs and Blu-ray disc players, by Bud Light, and by Southwest Airlines. So Boston College has been outshot 17-10, outscored 3-0. And it's Matt Price, one of the captains, trying to turn things around. He sends it in deep. Lombardi in quickly after it. Price over the far side, battling there. Eagle went down, and now the Terriers the long pass over to the far side. Race on into the corner. Tommy Cross, the defenseman, back there for BC. Puck comes up, Colby Cohen keeps it in, redirected on net. Nice save there by John Muse.
What a great look by Cohen. That was not intended to be a shot on goal. He had Benino off to the side of the net and delivered a perfect pass for a one-timer. Good stop by Muse.
Colby Cohen, 2 goals, 2 assists in that win Saturday against the University of Massachusetts, the co-player of the week in Hockey East this week. Almost a dangerous giveaway there for Boston College, and Chris Kreider now trying to make something happen on the other way, but Boston University doing a very good job holding up the line, making it tough for BC to get into the offensive zone and get anything set up.
Yeah, and you're for BC right now, you're saying, all right, we need something to get us going, and it really can't be a power play because you've had your chances at that. You had that lengthy 5-on-3. You didn't deliver there. That's not going to help you at this point. It's not going to be a big save because you're down by 3. It's got to be something. It's not going to be a big hit because they're not really a physical group. It's going to have to take some kind of lucky bounce or a lucky goal or some kind of good fortune, I think, to get BC going.
Cam Atkinson trying to see if he can get something going. He sails one in wide, left side. First Eagle in after it. Lost an edge there. Pat Mullane tried to get there. Now they try to chip the long pass out, but an offside call blows the play dead. Boston University with 2 goals here in the second period and a 3-0 lead in this.
An organization called Outdoor Hockey in New England that started a campaign to collect 30,000 signatures for a petition to present to NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman to have the Winter Classic here in Boston every single year. They figured Detroit did it with the NFL Thanksgiving game. Why not New Year's Day for the NHL here in Boston, Tom?
Why not? Thank you, Nalco. I'm sure 29 other cities have a pretty good argument why not, but we've always been a little provincial here in Boston. Let's keep it ours.
I'm casting my vote right now.
Absolutely. It has been such a great success, and there's no question the event in Buffalo was great, and they refined it last year at Wrigley Field, setting up their own operation with the rink and the refrigeration truck that they can now keep a standard of ice each year for the Winter Classic. But I don't think there's any question making it basically a 3-week celebration of hockey here has really raised the bar on this entire event.
Yeah, we have a great broadcast location right now. I'm curious, where were you on January 1st? Where'd you watch from?
We were up and around section 31, up behind the net where the Bruins eventually scored their 2 goals. Great seats, right in the middle of the crowd. And I've never seen a fan, again, like you, I'm blessed that I get to travel and go to great sporting events. I've been to World Series and Super Bowls and Ryder Cups. I think it was the best event I have ever attended.
Yeah, and I would second that. And, played in the Stanley Cup Finals for crying out loud. But, wow, what an event it was on the first. And it's just continued. It's been 3 great weeks. And getting back to the hockey game here, there was a play right at the offensive blue line for the BU Terriers. And I thought they were going to blow this play down for an offside and avoid the hooking penalty call. That was called. Going to go against Malcolm Lyles, defenseman for BC, guilty of the stick work. So BU will have another chance to extend this already 3-0 lead. They've been the dominant team for most of this hockey game. And they have a chance again with the man advantage to keep the pressure on the Eagles.
BU has a power play goal on the night. The first goal, David Warsofsky, way back in the first period at 6:58, trying to add to that now. Boston College, all season long, has been very good on the penalty kill. Best in hockey, 7th best in the nation. Last weekend killed all 11 power plays they faced at the Denver Cup, but they gave up that power play goal in the first period here tonight. Matt Price turns, fires it up length of the ice. Milan out quickly to play it. 35 seconds gone now in the BU power play. Battle for it just inside the Boston College zone. Played over here to the near side. Losing an edge, but able to gain the line. And now send it in deep is Gibbons. BU bringing it back out the other way. Andrew Glass turning away from traffic. Getting it back up to the near side for Colby Cohen. Beg your pardon, that was Bonino before. Cohen now with the shot on net. Muse with the save. Rebound. Cleared all the way back to Milan, who plays it and leaves it for Shattenkirk.
Well, we talked about the big three, if you will, on back end for BU. Cohen, Wasowski, Shattenkirk. And one thing that they will show you, especially when they have the man advantage, that whether they shoot right-handed or left, they're very comfortable, whether it's on their normal sides or when they get on their offsides. Cohen let a real good slap shot go from about 60 feet. That was troublesome.
Puck back at center ice, 20 seconds to go on the BU power play. Boston College hoping maybe a penalty kill will start to build a little bit of momentum. Kevin Shattenkirk bringing it in, getting it down to Colby Cohen, who plays it in deep. Pass through. Shot never made it through as it was blocked. Final seconds winding down. That shot tipped just wide on the rebound. Penalty added in. Now we are back to even strength. Bonino over there on the far side. Badgered by Samuelson. Boston College able to bring it out. BU changing up. Down here on the right side. The opportunity there for Jimmy Hayes. Save made by Milan, rebound back out the other way. Puck played in deep on the right side by Hayes again. He's battling for it. Hayes chipping it back up to the point. Tommy Cross will play it in deep. Puck down in the corner. They battle for it there. Kreider in there. Cam Atkinson as well. He comes away with the puck. Atkinson shielding it, leaving it on the left side. They pass it through. Right side for Cross. Through crowd, but it never got through, and Boston University controls. So sustained possession there for Boston College. Couldn't get much out of it. Long shot in on Muse. He made the stop, rebound in the corner. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in the second period. Boston College tries to chip it out, and now in a second effort, they're able to get it out to the neutral zone.
Even when BC has had the puck in the offensive zone, they are getting no inside position in front of the goal, in the slot area, even to the side of the BU net. There is nothing there. They either have to get more invested in this hockey game and start winning some battles in front of the goal, or else they have no shot at coming back.
Shot from a long way out. Muse with a save, and a follow-up shot as well. Muse had to stop. Popko coming in as the second man through. Atkinson had to wait. Offside is the call as Kreider wasn't able to get out of the zone. A 3-0 lead for Boston University here at Fenway Park.
By Sylvania HD LCD TVs and Blu-ray disc players. You must see hockey in stunning high definition. It'll be the second goal tonight for the BU Terriers. They did take a look at it. Was the post off its mooring before it snuck in. The initial shot by Cohen, blocker stopped by Muse, but Joe Pereira, a little backhand chip, trying to beat him to the spot, and he did, even though Muse got a right pad on it. It snuck in short side. That gave BU a 2-0 lead, a game which they now lead 3-0.
Boston College running out of time here in the second period to try to get one before the end. Ben Smith coming in looking for the rebound. It came all the way through to the corner as the net came off its mooring. Smith wanted a call there as he went down after the collision. Ben Smith getting his 100th career point on New Year's Day against St. Lawrence. And we did get a penalty out of that, so Ben Smith was right in pleading his case.
Pleaded his case, won the case, sends Zach Cohen to the penalty box. We'll get a look at it on the replay. Puck was deflected up over the crossbar, but Cohen on the back check, knocking Smith down, and he will go to the penalty box.
A huge opportunity on the power play. BC hasn't had much going on the man advantage. This comes with just over 2 minutes left in the period, down 3-0. Chance to get one on the board and maybe carry a little bit of momentum into the clubhouse here at Fenway Park.
Nice touch.
Down in the right field corner. That would make it right wing corner. They get back to the point. Shot came through. Save made Milan. Rebound chipped up. And now out by BU. Gibbons back after it for the Eagles. They gain the zone with some speed here. All the way up to the doorstep. Milan made a save. Score on the rebound. Gibbons was there. It is a 3-1 game, and the Eagles bring their fans to life here at Fenway.
Well, finally some inside position and the ability to attack the net. We haven't seen it at all from BC tonight, and maybe this will give them the lift that they need. Good speed through the neutral zone. Carey's going to take the puck wide, but he's able to tuck that puck between stick and skates of Warsofsky, and Gibbons drives to the net. It's simple, it's fundamental. You have the man advantage. That's where the goals are scored, in front of the net. BU's done a nice job of protecting that area, but not this time. Late in the second period, under 2 minutes to go. A power play goal by BC by getting inside position and attacking the net. And maybe you raise some doubt in the BU goaltender. You mentioned it, TC. It has been a struggle this year for Milan.
And now they come in with a little bit of that speed that you expect from an Eagles team. Boston University still up by 2, but now perhaps a little dent in the confidence late in the second period. Connolly plays it indeed. 3-1, despite a heavy shot advantage for Boston University, and a good opportunity there, but Lombardi steers it away now. All the way up into the offensive zone. Big hit in the corner there. As able to get back and lay the hammer down was Max Nicastro. The battle continuing behind the net. And now in front, a couple of words exchanged. Well, Nicastro still having words right in front of the goaltender.
Well, Nicastro is going to use that right arm, a forearm shiver into the wall. Good body contact. Did stay within the rules enough to not get a penalty. Prior to that, a one-timer by Bonino in the offensive zone. Big-time stop by Muse. I think we are going to get some matching penalties.
That was from after
the
that hit. It continued into the front of the net.
That's a good play by the referees. You want to keep control of this hockey game. Emotion certainly running high. BC, we said they needed to get more into this hockey game, and their first goal has raised their intensity level. Thus the result, the further stick work, the pushing and shoving. Little chat.
Nicastro at 6'3", 200. Almeida at 5'8", 175, but Almeida wasn't backing down an inch. Final minute of play here, as we do skate 4-on-4. Tommy Cross has to get back to Boston College. Four-man scrum forms behind the net. And BC trying to bring it out with a little speed. Now they settle it down and start up the ice. Under 30 seconds to play. Milan out to play it. Comes around to the near side. Pass all the way over to Atkinson on the far side. Cam Atkinson taking it from Jimmy Hayes. Hayes now behind the net. Hayes brings it over to the right wing circle, cuts back. 7 seconds remaining in the period. Atkinson has to get the handle back. Final seconds remaining, and that will end period number 2. So BU dominating much of this game, but Brian Gibbons getting his 8th goal of the season on the power play. And BC finally able to beat Karen Milan. It is a 2-goal game after 2 periods of play. Stay with us. Plenty more from Fenway Park, including Catherine Tappan up on the right field roof. Catherine?
All right, TC, thank you. It is a 3-1 lead for the BU Terriers, but BC has just gotten on the board, so this game
trying to make it 2 straight wins in the calendar year. Boston College trying to avoid making it 0-3 to start 2010. We skate 4 aside As we had those matching penalties, 1:04 remaining. You take a look at the numbers. BC hasn't won a game when trailing after 2 periods of play. Of course, it hasn't happened often. BU 3-1-1, taking a lead into the dressing room. We'll see if it works taking it into the clubhouse after 2 periods of play.
And the proverbial or adage or whatever you want to say, hockey terminology, you know, BC's looking to get a goal within the first 10 minutes. They don't want to get away from their game plan. They actually want to establish their game plan here and try to feed off that goal late in the second period. But if they can get one within the first 10 minutes, they're in good shape.
Here's Brian Gibbons into the offensive zone. Shot was blocked, and it bounces all the way over to the near side. Haven't seen any snow falling for a little while. The ice shouldn't be an issue as far as the snow accumulation that we saw during the first game and certainly the first period of this game.
And maybe that'll benefit BC as well. They're probably the quicker of the teams on the ice. That was one of the keys. Utilize their speed. They haven't really to this point in the hockey game, especially in their power plays. At 5-on-3 had been the turning point in the negative fashion for BC up until this point.
Muse squeezing tight on the shot there as he keeps this a 3-1 game. Revisiting your keys to the game, Rick.
Brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network. And as far as BU, they wanted to be that physical force. They wanted to stay disciplined. They didn't want to allow BC the opportunity to go on the power play. They did not do that to the letter. Go back to that 5-on-3 for almost 2 minutes, but they survived. Their top 3 defensemen, I think, have been difference makers tonight to this point. They lead 3-1. All 3 of them very much involved in this hockey game. They do have their fingerprints on it thus far. They're going to have to continue to play well here in the final 20. And as far as BC, they need to step up their skating game. If they can do that, I think the rest of their game plan will fall into place.
Well, the 1-goal game came from a great burst of speed from Paul Carey. Came streaking up the right side, made the defense collapse. Everything came out of that. Second minute of play here in the third period of play. Game number 2 of our Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader. A Hockey East men's and women's doubleheader. Got a penalty here first. Speaking of penalties, let's check in with Brendan Walsh, ice level.
Thanks, TC. I was able to find a pair of gloves. I spoke with assistant coach Greg Brown of Boston College, and the one thing that they wanted to do was establish a breakout, try to hold up from Boston University, get hold-ups, get some communication to break out of their own end, and conversely, they got to go back to one of Brick's keys. They got to work on team speed. Coming out of their own end, generate some team speed and establish a forecheck and throw some pucks to the net and simplify the game. TC, Brick?
All right, Walshy, thanks very much. A chance to do it now in the power play. Big opportunity here with Greibe in the box.
Yeah, Greibe tried to stand up at his own defensive blue line, but he made body contact, I guess, away from the puck, and that's why the interference call was made.
All right, a power play opportunity is the 5th of the game for Boston College. Gaining the line here is Ben Smith. He drops it back. It comes over towards the end, all the way back over to the near boards. Now taken down, it's Gibbons trying to get it through to the right side. They finally do get it to the point. Big shot there, never made it through. It was blocked and now cleared away by Boston University. Colby Cohen gingerly coming off the ice there after the block.
Well, BU's done a pretty good job of staying committed to being in the shooting lanes when BC has been on the power play. BC has made it, I think, somewhat easy on the penalty killers for the Terriers tonight, but not moving the puck quickly.
Joe Whitney skating it in deep around behind the net. Up top of the point, Tommy Cross able to just keep it in. Sends it in high into the slot. Chipped up to the blue line, and now 2-on-1 short-handed. Connolly into the offensive zone, but an offside call. The puck was bouncing and just slowed down enough that he couldn't get it in front of him and get onside.
You got to have a little more discipline and stay onside there. That's a short-handed opportunity. That's making a defensive play. But here's the reason BC's on the power play. I mean, it's a clean body check in terms of elbows down, shoulder tucked. The contact itself is clean, but the interference call was made. In the eyes of the officials, puck carrier, there was none in that situation.
So we continue on the BC power play. 50 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Boston College 1 for 5 on the power play tonight. Each team with 1 power play goal. BU right back in after it. Now able to clear all the way on net. Muse stopping it there, leaving it behind the net. They try to get it all the way up to Pat Mullane, who was hanging up at the blue line. Broken up, and Benino coming back the other way. All the way down into the corner. Nick Benino battling down there. Now he'll retreat as BC starts it up. Final 5 seconds of the power play for the Eagles. Connolly has it at center ice. Mullane strips it away, gains the line. We're back to even strength as he takes it in deep, goes down. The door opens, and we get a whistle as he went through that door. And he'll get up and make sure everything's okay, and it is. 16:32 to go here in the period. Brendan Walsh getting out of the way of the door. Nice job, Walshy.
Come on, Walshy. Secure that door, will you? People are going to get hurt if you're not doing your job down there. Body contact again by BU. They've really initiated all night long. Back to even strength. Again, stay out of the penalty box. Those are dangerous situations. So we make fun, make jokes, but got to be careful in those situations.
Absolutely. Puck kept in at the far point. 3.5 gone. Out behind the net now. It's Mullane again, trying to get around behind the net for Matt Price. Price gaining a little room. Getting it back in for Barry Almeida. Up to the point, Edwin Shea unable to keep it in. They have to regroup here at center ice. Philip Samuelson tries to send it in. Boston University controlling. BU up into the offensive zone here. Zach Cohen tried to go stick side and it went just wide. Samuelson behind the net for BC, plays it along, absorbs the hit as the Eagles try to get control to get it back to Samuelson. By Shea, it comes around near side. A penalty as BC had that D-to-D pass going behind the net. And they'll get themselves a power play out of it, I believe. We'll get it sorted out and tell you when we come back.
Pretty good opportunity for the Terriers. Zach Cohen able to absorb that hit by Samuelson, spin off, and a quick release on the forehand. Just missed blocker side. Continuing action. BU trying to keep the pressure as BC try to possess the puck behind their own net to lead to those breakouts that Greg Brown was talking about between periods with Brendan Walsh, saying these are the things we have to improve on in order to develop more speed through the neutral zone. This time they're able to draw another power play chance because of the penalty to Chiasson.
This is Dumoulin on the near side at the point. The freshman takes it, slides it across to his right. Sneap plays it along further. Shot blocked by Colby Cohen. BC gets it back. Stripped away and cleared away there as Boston University got back. This one coming all the way in front of Muse. And taken away there by Connolly. Connolly going it alone. Shorthanded bid save Muse, and Boston College now starts up the ice. Minute 28 to go. In the 7th power play of the game for Boston College. They're 1 for 6. Boston University came out with that big win Saturday. Also had a season high 13 penalties. We see this now, the 7th power play they've given up to Boston College. Clearly they have come out playing more aggressive since that elongated break. They'll have to walk that fine line between aggression and discipline.
No, they've gotten away with it. They really have, especially that 5-on-3, and not to beat a dead horse, but I didn't think BC did enough with that 5-on-3 in order to get that triangle of BU moving.
Trying to do something here on the power play. Make it a 1-goal game. Cam Atkinson puts on the brakes. Back to Tommy Cross. He slides it across now, looking, waiting. The shot never came through as Joe Whitney was looking for a seam. Whitney knocks it down, but the battle won by Boston University as Popko clears it out. A high stick call will bring it back in.
Yeah, I think Popko is the guy that knocked it down with the high stick, so I think this face-off should be deep in the offensive zone for BC.
Indeed it is, so they will get a chance to try to win the draw instead of the power play.
It was aggressive penalty kill by BU. They're taking away the shooting lanes. They're getting into passing lanes. They're winning more than their share of the one-on-one battles, especially when they're killing penalties. But that time, Popko knocking the puck down, so BC gets an opportunity to keep the puck in the offensive end. Key to get a face-off win here. Still 30 seconds to go on a power play.
Mullane played it in deep. Boston College gets control, but unable to keep it in, and retreating out to center ice is Whitney. Joe Whitney, Tommy Cross manning the points here for BC. Entering the zone with speed on the right side is Cam Atkinson. BU gets it back and gets it out to neutral ice. 7 seconds to go on the BC power play. Those final seconds being killed off now as Chiasson comes out of the box. We're back to even strength. Coming up on the right side, trying to make something happen, Stephen Whitney, the freshman. Went down, couldn't get up in time, but came all the way around behind the net, and BU cleared it, icing the call with 13:28 remaining here. I want to thank our entire Nesson crew here, some of the best in the business. They work a lot of games here at Fenway Park, but usually, if anything, they're worried about getting sunburned in the afternoon. Windburn and frostbite more of a concern tonight. Great job tonight, guys. They were here early setting up, and they will be here late breaking down, because there won't be another game here till April.
I'm sure they're hoping for overtime.
Good news is they knew there wouldn't be a rain delay. That was the best news tonight. Puck over to the far side. Matt Price got there about the same time as Boston University's skater, and it went up high. Stayed in the zone, though. BC will try to break it out once again. Not much going there as it's knocked down and kept in by Wade Megan. Now BC into the offensive zone. Almeida around, tried to sneak it past Milan on the near side. Milan held the post firm, and it comes around behind the net. Puck there for BU. Now taken out. Well, you said a penalty here coming up against Boston College. Brian Dumoulin will get sent to the box, and exactly what BC did not want here, going down a man as they're still down 2 goals.
Yeah, there's nothing happening here. This is just a little chip into the offensive zone, and Dumoulin with I guess a little too aggressive a hit, because I think it's going to be a roughing call after Wasowski just dumped that puck into the offensive zone. So after a power play opportunity goes by the boards for BC, now they're going to need a quality penalty kill here to stay within 2 against the Terriers.
Now, you said, Brett, first 10 minutes of the period, those 10 minutes winding down here, 12:25 left in this third period of play. Opportunity here as they spring Gibbons. Shorthand, he's got Atkinson in front, score! Shorthanded goal, and it is the speed that leads to a goal. It's a 1-goal game here in the third.
Well, I love the play by Philip Samuelson. When he gets to this loose puck in his own zone, he goes hard off the boards, but at the angle where he could elevate this puck, and Gibbons just takes off and gets in behind. And even though he doesn't glove the puck cleanly and make the initial pass cleanly, he stays with it. The 2-on-1 created. Atkinson just gets open. He gives himself a target. Gibbons' second chance opportunity, finds him tape to tape. And he makes the perfect play, and they're able to slide that puck onto Milan to get within 1. Huge shorthanded goal for the Eagles.
Team leading 10th goal of the season for the sophomore Cam Atkinson. Atkinson with at least 1 goal now in 6 of the last 8 games. He's really turned it up with 15 points in the last 8 games now for Boston College. Just the second shorthanded goal for the team this season. Brian Gibbons, who set that up, has the other. 1-goal game here with just more than 8 minutes gone here in period number 3. So the first 10 minutes were key. They've got one back now. It's a game.
And stay committed to the penalty kill. You got a shorthanded goal. You know, don't get overexcited. Stay in control of your emotions. What you want to do is kill the next minute. You're not looking for another goal to tie it right now. It's a huge break to score shorthanded, but I'll finish the job and kill this penalty if you're the BC Eagles.
And a penalty coming up against Boston University on a good effort by Gibbons to get to the puck. He was tripped up, and that will end the power play and make it 4 aside. What a great penalty killing effort. That entire 1 minute and 2 seconds for Brian Gibbons.
Saponari's going to go to the penalty box for a little stick infraction. Maybe even a little bit of leg right in the neutral zone. But BC starting to use that speed all over the ice, all 3 zones. They vacate the defensive zone early, knowing that Samuelson was going to get to the puck. That led to the shorthanded goal with the speed of Gibbons up front, along with Atkinson, and then just hustle in the neutral zone, trying to get to loose pucks, using that speed, able to draw a penalty.
So 4-on-4 hockey here for 50 seconds. That's the time remaining on the penalty to Dumoulin of Boston College. BC, after trailing this game 3-0, has come back with 2 unanswered goals, one from Gibbons, one assisted by Gibbons, and it's a 3-2 game. BU holding on as we approach the midway point of the third period. All right, staying here with the action as we skate 4-on-4, still 30 more seconds. Just past 9 minutes gone here in period number 3. Now it's covered up by Milan, who gets a snow shower, and that wasn't from the flurries, that was from a skate. And Boston University takes exception.
And this is okay if you're the BC Eagles. We've been talking about it. They got to get into this hockey game. They got to show a little bit more emotion, up the intensity level. A couple of goals will certainly do that for you, particularly when it comes, or one of them comes shorthanded. And why not? Get right in on the goaltender's face. Get a little nasty, get a little ornery. If you're going to go to the penalty box, make sure you take somebody with you. BC is in this hockey game right now, and it didn't look that way when it was 3-0.
Oh, no question about that. This was a game dominated by Boston University for the first 35 minutes of play, deep into the second period before BC really got anything going, but now they've answered twice to make it a 1-goal game. Shots were 24-16 favoring Boston University after 2. 5-4 here in the third, favoring Boston College.
And the discussion on the ice is about where this faceoff was going to be after that scrum in front of the BU goal. Jack Parker obviously telling the referees, hey, that's got to be out in center ice. Jerry York was hoping that faceoff was going to be in the offensive zone in this 4-on-4 situation.
Boston College controlling off the draw, still 20 seconds on the initial penalty. They'll have about a 1-minute power play. Boston College will, barring any further infractions. Here's Kevin Shattenkirk. Quick wrist shot there, just wide. Set up the screen beautifully. Now Boston University at the doorstep. Muse made a save. Rebound bounces wide. BC trying to get it up the ice quickly. Power play underway for the Eagles now as they gain the line. Sneap taking it deep. He'll wait for reinforcements, tries to pass it back, broken up by Colby Cohen, who's been out there a long time. He clears it out. 45 seconds to go in this power play. It is the 8th of the game for Boston College. They're 1 for 7. Connolly read the play well. And once the BC skater lost the handle, he cleared it out.
Well, understand that you only have about 30 seconds on this power play chance, BC. You got to come up the ice and you got to execute. If you got to go back and retrieve the puck, you're hurting yourself.
Glove down there, kept in by Dumoulin. The shot on net, rebound out to the far side. Cross can't keep it in. 15 seconds to go in the man advantage. Quick pass into the offensive zone. At the doorstep, Almeida took the initial shot. Rebound just out of the reach of Milan. It's over to the corner. BC fans wanted a penalty call. As they gained the line, Almeida went in with speed and seemed to be held up as he tried to get around the defenseman.
Yeah, no seamed about it. I thought there was going to be a penalty for sure on BU on that rush. Again, that speed can really put you in such a disadvantage if you're BU in that situation.
Back to even strength here, Vince Habaneri. Around behind the net, finds the man at the point. Knocked off his stick, Almeida pokes it away to center ice. Shattenkirk had to hustle back after it quickly. Now bouncing, it's Habaneri. Trying to get it into the offensive zone. Battle forms in front of the penalty box on the near side. 8:45 remaining here in the third. Speed here into the offensive zone and a big shot sailing wide as the freshman Stephen Whitney came in and hammered it just wide left side. Now Sheason gets it started. Playing it up ahead, taken back by Boston College. Hayes going in hard, it's dumped back in, played behind the net by Muse. Whitney on the far side, Stephen Whitney. They bring it all the way up to the offensive zone, cleared away. Connolly's got room on the far side, 2-on-1 developing. Connolly going in with Sheason. Drops it back, nobody there, taken by Joe Whitney. Back the other way come the Eagles. Whitney with Cam Atkinson. Joe Whitney into the offensive zone, but a whistle blows as they gain the line. We'll take a break and come back. Less than 8 minutes to go and a 1-goal lead for BU.
Tanya will join us live in studio, and Paul Kelly will also be here. We'll get you plenty of reaction from the players' locker rooms as well. We hope to see you right after the game. TC?
Well, welcome back. You do whatever you have to do to stay warm. Don't think that was a sweater. I think that was... That's what the man they call Sasquatch, going back to the days of Walter Brown Arena. Making it here to Fenway Park as hockey takes center stage, center field, short center. Boston College coming in hard now. Shot comes in, Milan makes the save, rebound behind the net, now out in front, that one was blocked. And the Eagles with a tremendous opportunity there. Boston College bringing it back the other way to send it deep.
It looked like Popko, the sentiment on this line, had actually had a play goal.
And it was Pat Mullane, the freshman out of Wallingford, Connecticut, who had the last and best opportunity. Now Andrew Glass finds the defenseman. It's dumped in near corner. Glass gets it back. Tried to give it a little half tap towards the front of the net. BC trying to break back out the other way. Kreider going in with speed, but the pass broken up before he could collect it. Nice little move here on the near side. Dropped back to Samuelson. Gibbons, who's had a great third period. After it on the far side, now back to the point. Save made through a screen by Milan.
Positional stop. I don't think he saw that till it hit his pad.
That shot from Ben Smith redirected wide. Samuelson back at center ice. Knocked off his stick, but he's got help. Gibbons gains the line and finds a man coming off the bench. That one sails through. Broken up. Down in the near corner. Shot from the high slot. Milan with a save there off Carey. Out behind the net, BC pressing hard now. Down by a goal with 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the third. Samuelson's stick broken, an opportunity the other way. All the way up comes Pereira, and a big save, John Muse. The two goalies holding court here in the late going. Dare we say a pitcher's duel in the late going at Fenway Park.
Well, it was Carey that came off the bench that really caused BU some problems. And the first opportunity, pretty good shot on goal. Then he found the high slot. I'm not sure Milan was in perfect position, but Popko was. Good pressure by the BC Eagles. They have upped their skating game, and they're keeping the pressure on, but there was a breakdown and let a chance for Pereira. Already with a goal in this one, cruising in on Muse, but Muse was able to get it with the right half of his body.
Little discussion as to who could come out for the change. BC, the home team, got the last change, and a little work being done over to the right of John Muse. We'll take a timeout while they work on the ice and get it fixed up. Under 6 minutes remaining in a one-goal game, period number 3. Sun Life Frozen Fenway doubleheader, and we want to give special thanks to some of the people who helped make this historic event happen here at the ballpark and here on Nesson. First, our hosts, the Red Sox, from Sam Kennedy and Larry Lucchino, all the way through their hardworking staff, and especially Paul Hanlon, Fred Olson, Marty Ray, and Colin Birch, among many, many others. And of course, from Hockey East, Commissioner Joe Bertagna, Kathy Winters, and Pete Soros. Thanks to everyone who helped put this unforgettable event together. And our presenting sponsor, Sun Life Financial, for making this a reality. And to the players on the ice for making it a game that has lived up to the hype. A 3-0 deficit for Boston University, long forgotten now. It's a one-goal game, and BC has been pressing. Battle down in the corner. Boston University coming away with it. Out behind the net, they swing it around, and it was stopped. Stephen Whitney was finally the one who swept it aside. Now back the other way, Milan steps out of the traffic and plays it to the corner. BU starting it up the ice. To the near side, Sheason sends it in. Out behind the net. Zach Cohen in traffic, now has a little space, kicks it over to the far side, taken over there by Dumoulin. Dumoulin dumps it in. Both teams changing up on the fly, approaching the 5-minute mark, time remaining. Here in the third, the Eagles looking for the equalizer. Price at center ice, had it knocked away, over to Samuelson down near side. Samuelson long dump in, got by everybody, so icing is called. It'll come all the way back the other way. We remind you, just over a week from now, January 18th and 19th, the American Hockey League's brightest stars gather for the Time Warner Cable AHL All-Star Classic in Portland, Maine. On Monday the 18th, watch the All-Stars put their talent on display in the skills competition live at 8. Then on Tuesday, catch the game itself live at 6, all right here on NESN.
Your neck of the woods.
Back home. The second time in, when were we there? 2003, I believe it was. Second time in 7 years.
Yeah.
The All-Star games at the house that Brick built, Cumberland County Civic Center. Puck down in the corner. 4.5 minutes remaining now as Milan watches the battle. Over to his left side. BU trying to swing it around. BC hemming in the Terriers. Samuelson sends it in deep. Lombardi after it in the corner. Lombardi had it knocked off his stick. 2-on-2 now. The Terriers bring it out to the near side. Saponari snaps off a shot. Muse made the save and the rebound. Came up to the crease, but then moved away, and the Eagles bring it out. Up on the left side, the battle down there is Kreider. Takes it around behind the net. Poked up to center ice. Under 4 minutes to go.
Now, BU needs to continue to make plays. They had a nice rush up ice, led to that shot by Saponari, but when you're trying to protect the 1-goal lead, you just can't keep chipping the puck out into the neutral zone. Otherwise, you're just going to get, people are just going to come, BC's just going to keep coming right back at you on the counterattack.
Atkinson tried to make something happen with the speed on the left side. BC changing up as BU dumps in. On the far side, Sneap gets after it. Pass up ahead, Kreider trying to dangle around on the left. He and Shattenkirk go down into the corner. Help from Gibbons. They get it back up top. Shot from Dumoulin, or pass to the far side into a sea of bodies there. Dumoulin steps in nicely to keep it in. Now the shot from Ben Smith. Best bid of this period, perhaps stopped by Milan. He keeps it a 3-2 game for BU.
The pressure on BU, looking for the tying goal. Dumoulin at the left point. He has Gibbons wide open. Look how much of an empty net he would have had if that puck was more tape to tape, but it was forward by the right skate. That play doesn't connect, and then Smith gets a real good chance. Milan with no stick. And fortunately for him, that puck was elevated off the ice, which was to his advantage. Not only can he make that save, he can smother the puck and get a much-needed whistle for BU.
Ben Smith, the career scoring leader of anybody playing in this game tonight, looking for his 101st point. Was not to be. Under 3 minutes remaining, BU still holding on to the 1-goal lead. They had a 3-0 lead here. By the end of the second period, Boston College with one late in that second period, one here in the third, now looking for the equalizer. Gibbons getting after it, centering pass. Cam Atkinson sending it just wide to the left. Puck down there in the skates. BC coming away with it, save. Milan in the rebound over to the near side. Penalty call coming up here. Will it be against BU? It looks like.
No, it's against BC.
I think
it's going to be against Gibbons. He was hoping that they were going to call a dive on this. A little gesture to the referee saying this guy took a dive. He took a dive, and he might be right. The stick was in there, had one hand on it. Okay, give you that. A little embellishment along the way, but I think BC is going to be the only penalized party.
Long skate over, and you can see the looks on the BC bench. 2:14 remaining, and Gibbons in the box for 2 of those minutes.
Real tough break and tough call to go against a team that was really carrying the play, pressing for the tying goal. BU on their heels. They made a couple of plays coming out of their own zone, but not enough because BC kept attacking. They already have a shorthanded goal. They might need another one.
Well, if they don't, they'll get about 14 seconds to try to get one even strength. We'll see how they handle the thought of pulling the goalie here, just to get back to even strength. Puck at neutral ice. Sent back into the BU end, but just killing off the penalty might not be enough. 1:47, our time remaining.
No, they can't. They cannot not pull their goaltender and just play in a man-down situation for the remainder of the game, except those, what, 15 seconds, did you say?
Right. Long clear. No icing, of course, as they're killing off the penalty. 1:25 the time remaining. And BC down by a goal and down a man. BU just taking its time, bringing up the puck with the man advantage, and why not? Buse, the goaltender, staying in net. Hayes getting up after it. 1:03 time remaining. As the final minute of play now. Cross with the steal at the point, was able to keep it in. Now a shot just wide. Cross after it. Cross sends it in deep. A high chip in behind the net. Over to the near side, kept in by Samuelson. Samuelson pinches in nicely to keep it in. Now Muse comes out of the net with 37 seconds to go. The extra skater coming on, which makes it even strength, but with an empty net behind them. Puck down in the corner. Boston University able to chip it out to center ice. Samuelson gets after it. 20 seconds remaining. To Cross on the near side. Tommy Cross with the pass ahead. Atkinson had a piece of it. 12 seconds to go as Boston College comes in. Atkinson in front. Bouncing puck loose. Cleared up. Kept in by Cross. Into a crowd. Atkinson with 2 seconds left. And he can't get the shot off. And the Frozen Fenway doubleheader ends with a 3-2 BU win. A winter classic, if you will. Boston College gave it everything they could to try to get the equalizer here in the third.
And Atkinson knew he was up against the clock. He didn't have a shooting lane initially. He tried to change, and he knew he was running out of time. Again, he didn't have a lane. He thought he had just enough time to take one more move to his right before he got his shot away, but he ran out. Time expires. A good effort by BC. They get the goaltender pulled. They get what they want. They keep the puck in the offensive zone. We said BU was in the shooting lanes all night. Red jersey after red jersey after red jersey, denying Atkinson the chance to at least put a shot on goal in hopes that they could tie this hockey game.
Well, the handshakes will happen just inside of second base. Boston University, from a purely hockey perspective, needed this game. They make it 2 straight wins. But from the bigger picture, these two teams will never forget a magical night here at Fenway Park. Boston University winning the 2010 Frozen Fenway men's event, the Frozen Fenway doubleheader presented by Sun Life Financial, annuities, employee benefits, and life insurance. Well, Brick, it looked like it was going to be a one-sided affair for much of the first 2 periods. Boston College got that goal late in the second period and gave BU everything they could handle in the third.
I think BU really exercised their will to win this hockey game through the first 30, 40 minutes. BC needed something. They had squandered power play opportunities. They weren't invested in this hockey game. They weren't getting inside position until that power play goal when they went back to fundamentals. Speed through center ice and attack the net. And once they did that late in the second period, they felt they could get back into this hockey game. A tip of the cap to the Eagles for their effort in the third period. Carried the play. They brought some desperation to their game, and you can see why these two teams have had just a rich history of competition between the two of them. Another stellar game, particularly the second half of this hockey game, and we were treated to a lot of fun tonight.
Well, a week ago, the Boston Bruins beat the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime. Tonight, a different college atmosphere under the lights at night, and it's Boston University with a 3-2 win over Boston College. An unforgettable night of hockey here at Fenway Park. Our coverage continues now as we go past the pesky pole to Catherine Tappan on the right field roof.
All right, TC, the Sun Life Frozen Fenway postgame.